a past president and to pass everything else at least twice. And some would say, past his prime. Delivering his speech titled, "Don't Blame Me, I Was Raised This Way." Please give a warm welcome for advanced Toastmaster, Bill Newhouse.
Thanks, buddy. Good job. I am literally past my prime. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome guests, members of the head table. Now, it's been a while. I'm not a regular anymore like I used to be, but I'm starting to get better at what I do thank you, as far as attending meetings go and being involved with Toastmasters. Although I will say this up front, I've never missed a party. Okay, good. And that's important. But I mean, for those of you who know me, and many of you do, you understand, you can't blame me because you know that I've been raised this way. And it's kind of funny only because it's kind of like something a serial killer might say. You can't blame me, but that's another story altogether. I'm the product of two very different cultures and a religious leader that my parents turned me on to back in the 60s. So let me explain. My parents were born in the 1920s. And my mom was 29 and my dad was 24. If they were still around, they'd be very upset with me that I just disclosed that, because you would never have known by the way that they behaved or looked. But they were of that generation during the Great Depression, World War II, the Korean conflict, the Red Menace, the Vietnam War. They went through all of that. My mom's brothers, my uncles, were both in World War II. One was in the South Pacific, and one with Patton's army going up through Africa and into Germany. So when they were at war, my mom would be delivering what they had back then, because there were no text machines. She'd be delivering telegraphs with my grandmother, her mother, to those who had fallen and have to take the telegraphs to the parents' house. So they were good stock, hardworking, true greater generation people. And they raised a brood like you would not believe, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that right now. As we got older, there was a lot of births to be had, because back in the 1950s when they started having kids, it was pretty much a county, state, regional, and I believe countrywide law that every Catholic family must have a minimum of 6 children, and they abided by that. They started in 1955. In December of 55, my oldest brother was born, and then 2 years later, 57, my second oldest brother was born, and then my sister in 1960, and then my brother Dan in 62, and then on April 21st, 1964, the world stopped. God reached down and touched my mother with the miracle that was Bill. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I had that background of the way they trained us, the way that they enlisted us into the regime. And I believed it and I lived it as best I could. I used to call my mom the general. Blake, you knew my mom, you know what I'm talking about. She was in charge, but they instilled us with great values. Be a man of your word. Try to tell the truth as best you can. Set goals for yourself. Go after those goals. Make plans. Be kind to one another. Love each other. Treat each other the way you would like to be treated, otherwise known as the golden rule. And so that was my base, my foreground. But remember, we're in 1964 at this point. I had older brothers who were 7 and 9 years older. All of a sudden, Timothy Leary somehow got into the picture and messed up my older brothers, but I went and kind of followed along right into that turn on, turn off, take lewds, have fun, whatever it was. And that was my mixture. But on top of all of that, going forward as I got older, trying to be the man of my word, there was this religious leader. And I didn't know we get buzzed for ands. It was a religious leader. He was someone who taught us, we solve our problems with words. We love one another. We take care of each other. We turn the other cheek. We do not hate. And in fact, this week, we celebrate, well, we don't celebrate, we mourn the passing of this leader. Now, nowadays, he'd probably be called a hippie, progressive, maybe made fun of, couldn't even be referred to as a communist. But today is the day that he passed away. And so as I thought about it today coming in, I was going to do more of this as a icebreaker, kind of give an icebreaker, but I remembered it was Good Friday, Holy Friday. And I thought I'd share a little bit of my background and how the Lord touched me back then with such a great family. And then to give reverence to his passing, which is today. And for those of you who aren't sure, you don't wish people happy Holy Week. That's not what you do. If you want to know how Christians and Catholics behave, this is a time of mourning. This is a time of sadness. We're preparing for the good to reach us on Easter Sunday. But thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters. I've had a great time so far. I hope to have a great time going forward.
Well done, man.
Thank you.